Hey guys, Flamengo greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're new here, be sure to follow, like, and share on all platforms. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe down below. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell and drop a like on the video. We're here thanks to the support of the Haroldo Caravan. And remember, you can secure your spot at Flamengo games with tickets included. Also for the Champions League, you can guarantee your presence at many events, Copa do Brasil, Libertadores, and also the Brasileirão, even at Maracanã. And of course, the famous hospitality of the Haroldo Caravan since 1981, taking Flamengo fans and club members to important matches like the 1981 Club World Cup. And man, I also want to let you know that you can purchase products through YouTube shopping. The Flamengo jerseys, there's the new collection, the identity, the verification, and after the identity, there's the black diamonds, which you can also get. The brown Flamengo jersey looks great, right? I think these jerseys are amazing and love wearing them. And then you can get the new jersey, also the white jersey number 1, which Flamengo should wear against Estudiantes in Argentina. Flamengo, which has already returned without any break, we'll talk about that here. No break, focused on eternal glory. Flamengo, along with Palmeiras, leads the ranking, and we'll talk about that, Club World Cup and everything else. So Flamengo already returned this morning, on this Monday morning, after the big win over Atlético Mineiro at Arena MRV. All right, so the starters of the match stayed in the gym doing recovery work, and the players who played both halves went to the field. All right, so the substitutes and those who played just one half went to the field under the command of Leonardo Jardim. The team will still have one more training session on Tuesday morning before traveling to Argentina, where they will face Estudiantes in La Plata for the Copa Libertadores. We're heading there. I'll be in Buenos Aires to cover this for you. And we have some news here that's not very good, right? Unfortunately, it's not good at all. But we thank God today we have Everton Araujo. Okay, thank God Flamengo has a substitute today. Okay, so we're going to bring you this important news. So check this out. According to the journalist Bruno Lemos, okay? Eric Pulgar is expected to remain out for Flamengo in the match against Estudiantes de La Plata in the Libertadores. So the Chilean midfielder did some activities on Monday morning at the Ninho do Urubu training center under the supervision of a physical therapist. We know that the player was also suspended in the Brazilian Championship and had been recovering from a shoulder problem. From that situation when he was sent off, right? At that moment he was sent off. He also suffered an injury there and couldn't recover. According to Bruno Lemos, who works with Mauro Santana, he should remain out for Flamengo. There is only a slim chance he'll be named in the squad, keeping in mind that Flamengo trains at 10 a.m. this Tuesday and only in the afternoon. They will travel to Argentina. Flamengo doesn't have any training scheduled in Argentina, okay? Flamengo will only train at Ninho do Urubu, right? And then they'll head straight to Argentina, okay? So Eric Pulgar will only really confirm that he's out tomorrow when Flamengo releases the squad list. But he's a player that, for me, even with Everton, Araujo is doing very well. For a Libertadores match, what kind of player is he? It's a match where I see Pulgar as very important, okay? Eric Pulgar is a player who makes a big difference. Look, let me bring you some very important information as well, okay? It's about the Club World Cup, all right? There's important information about the Club World Cup. Flamengo is already guaranteed a spot in the Club World Cup, and we're going to talk about that. FIFA has established a ranking system to decide some of the qualifiers for the 2029 Club World Cup, that expanded Club World Cup, the Club World Cup that took place in the United States. This ranking takes into account the performance of the clubs in the main continental competitions between 2025 and 2028. The teams earn points as follows: 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 3 points for advancing to the next stage. In addition, the continental champions from this period are already guaranteed a direct spot in the tournament. That means Flamengo already has a direct spot in the Club World Cup, as we had already told you, right? Adjustment in Europe. With the new Champions League format, some clubs play more matches than others before the round of 16. To avoid an unfair advantage, teams that go through the playoffs can earn up to 12 points in this stage. Meanwhile, the clubs that advance directly to the round of 16 receive a 12-point bonus to balance the competition. Is that right? Important rules. Points for advancing to the next stage are awarded when qualification is confirmed. Matches that are not played will have their points determined by the Confederation. The ranking is not updated in real time. It goes through validation after rounds and draws. Final summary. The system rewards consistency over 4 years in continental competitions. Whoever wins more, in this case wins more games and advances through more stages, will have a better chance of securing a spot in the 2029 Club World Cup. In addition to the champions who automatically qualify, there are 2 more spots available through the ranking. At this moment, we already have Flamengo, PSG, Pyramids, Al Ahly, and Cruz Azul qualified for the 2029 Club World Cup. Palmeiras is currently leading the ranking with 53 points. Flamengo has 51, but for Flamengo it doesn't matter anymore. The ranking doesn't matter for Flamengo anymore, only for those who are not champions. Those who are runners-up, who are not champions, need the ranking, and Palmeiras, who hasn't beaten any European team in the same period that Flamengo won, man, it's impressive. And while we're on that, here's an important point. Flamengo, from 2019 until now, if I'm not mistaken, played 6 matches against European teams. And Flamengo struggled. They only have 1 loss, and it was to Bayern, 4-2. Flamengo beat Ajax, or actually it was the other way around. They drew with Ajax and beat Frankfurt in the Florida Cup. Flamengo drew with Liverpool, Flamengo drew with PSG, and both games went to extra time, and the PSG match went to penalties, and Flamengo lost to Bayern and beat Chelsea. Look how crazy that is. Flamengo has an incredible record against European teams. It's impressive. Just look at that, huh? Flamengo formed a partnership to strengthen its youth academy even further. The Youth Academy won the Libertadores twice recently, also became world champions twice in 2024 and 2025, and Flamengo wants to soar even higher. Flamengo formed a partnership with a youth development club, and look at that, a union that strengthens the future. Azures posted on their social media. Check it out. Azures and Flamengo, all right? Azures and Flamengo are now moving forward together in a strategic partnership that is essentially about improving athlete development. On one side, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, a well-established reference on the national and international scene, and on the other, an emerging powerhouse that is growing steadily and stands out in developing high-performance talents. More than just a partnership, it's a commitment to building a shared path forward, to share knowledge and raise the level of the youth system, developing not only great players but great people as well. The future is built now, and together it goes even further. Urubu and Gralha flying together. Look, just to explain to you, Azures is from the south of the country. They develop players who recently stood out even in the Under-20 Libertadores World Cup. And one Flamengo has very high hopes for. He is considered to have huge potential, and that's Guilherme. Flamengo also signed Felipe Teresa from Azures at the time to finish his development. He ended up leaving, and now Guilherme and many others are coming as well. So they are great developers of young talent, and Flamengo now has a partnership with Azures. Man, this news is very important because Flamengo really has to keep being a top developer of young talent, a team that develops a lot of young players.
No futebol internacional.
The club supporters, my brother, they're all biased fans, right? Ruka Kifuri, a Corinthians fan, man, supporters. You guys know that the media, people from São Paulo, most of them are anti-Flamengo, but even they can't take it anymore. Even those guys who usually defend Corinthians and Palmeiras, not even they can handle Pedro's current form. Man, we've always said Pedro is one of the best strikers in international football, not just in Brazil. And now those guys have nothing to say. Pedro even played a pass with his back to goal yesterday, man, with his shoulder back here, man. That's crazy. The other way around, right? Man, that's crazy. That was just unreal, guys. That was unreal. Man, the guy scores with his chest. Scores from midfield, almost scored another one from midfield, scored one against Fabio. Man, the guy, bro, just takes over the game. That pass he gave to Arrascaeta yesterday. Are you kidding me, man? Pedro is unbelievable. Gives assists, scores goals. Yesterday he scored two. Pedro is a monster right now. And that's it. The guys can't handle it. They just can't handle him, okay? And then, man, look, even Danilo Lavieri. Hey, Danilo, where's the document, huh? Signed by Landinho, huh? Hey, Danilo Lavieri, I'm waiting for the document. Okay, man.
Aí, o,
Arrascaeta, you're my brother. Man, my game. Arrascaeta, you're crazy. He finished them all for you yesterday. Everything Brazil has. Today, in the squad, I would really like Pedro to be on the national team. Then Trajano said, this guy is cool. This guy is cool. Trajano said here, Pedro is different. He started playing well at the end. He wasn't called up before because he wasn't doing so well. And now he's standing out. He got injured. He was recovering. He has every chance of never having been on Ancelotti's list and making it onto the final list. And I think he will make it. Arnaldo Ribeiro, his current form amazes me, amazes everyone. They're amazed. And I'll be amazed when he beats your team, the Brazilian League and the Libertadores, and God willing, the Copa do Brazil too, if he beats your team again.
né, pô,
Man, they made a big fuss about the Super Copa, which is basically Brazil's season opener. Flamengo coming back from vacation, preseason. Flamengo, man. We know that Flamengo, who won everything last year, and those guys are celebrating. But when Flamengo wins what really matters at the end of the year, I want to see you all keep praising them. Pedro is good. Hey, Pedro is good, but everyone can see it. There's no denying it, man. There's no denying it. Pedro deserves to go to the World Cup, okay? And to wrap it up, Juca Kifuri. I would call up Pedro with my eyes closed. With my eyes open, I wouldn't have the slightest doubt about calling him up. That's what I say, my friends. It's 100%. It's unanimous. Pedro in the World Cup already. I was talking about Pedro with you guys, and now I'm going to bring it up here. That Pedro became the third Flamengo player to score against all the G12 rivals. Look how crazy that is. Pedro made history for Flamengo with 2 goals in the 4-0 win over Atletico Mineiro. He became the third player from the club to score against all the G12 rivals. Okay? He has a total of 167 goals for Flamengo. He was the only one on the list who was still missing. He now joins Gabigol and Arrascaeta, the only ones to achieve this feat for the club. When it comes to matches against the big teams, Pedro has 49 goals and is among Flamengo's top scorers in this type of matchup, led by Zico with 104 goals. Look, Pedro is going to get there, huh? Pedro is going to get there. Interestingly, not even the greatest club icon of all time reached that mark. Zico never scored against Cruzeiro. Congratulations to Pedro, right? Zico is unmatched. But this number, this milestone that Pedro reached is very important, right? Pedro managed to join a select group of players who have scored against the 12 main teams in Brazilian football. Yeah, I'm seeing here that Mango Cria posted that Adriano Imperador said Flamengo is the heart of Rio, and that's the truth. Flamengo is it's the heart of Brazil, Mango Cria. Flamengo is the heart of Brazil. There's no doubt about it. Mango is the heart of Brazil. And Pedro is in our hearts. Pedro is amazing. Our striker is on fire. Man, I'm really happy, you know? I always believed in Pedro's potential. I always said that to me, he was the Brazilian Ibra. Let me share some very important news here, okay? On Monday afternoon, Flamengo has decided on the sale situation of Gonzalo Plata, and according to ESPN, would only consider selling the player if there were a really high offer. I had already told you this, but now ESPN confirms this information, especially since the player is in great form, right? He played an amazing game yesterday, has been performing well, and has shown his quality, right? The board is avoiding making changes to the attack right now, since they're monitoring Everton Cebolinha's contract situation, which ends at the end of the year, and they're also considering a possible departure of Luis Araujo, okay? According to ESPN. Since Leonardo Jardim arrived, Plata started playing on the wings, his original position, and began performing well again, scoring once more in the rout over Atletico Mineiro after a period without goals. Even though he's valued, he's not considered untouchable, okay? The club, I'd already told you all that, the club is open to starting talks in the next transfer window as long as the sale is advantageous and doesn't harm the squad's balance. His contract runs until 2029, okay? So according to ESPN, Flamengo is in no hurry to sell Gonzalo Plata. I mentioned he'd wait for the World Cup, and with the player performing well, that's even better, right? They'll only consider selling him if there's a really high offer. So should they keep the player? I think, man, criticizing is one thing. It's part of it to criticize. We've already criticized. We've already praised. The player is coming into focus. He has a lot of quality. He's a player for the Ecuadorian national team. He has everything to shine in the World Cup. He has everything to shine at Flamengo. And Flamengo there, it's a one-sided rivalry. I think we need to stay calm. Flamengo's team is fantastic. If some players leave, it's about replacing them, trying to find even better players, and keeping the ones who are doing well. I really root for Gonzalo Plata's success. That's it, guys. I encourage you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe below, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, leave a cool like on the video. Thanks so much for watching. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Thanks.